How exciting is it now to be in technology in London compared to where we were, say, 5 years ago? People have been talking a lot about how London has designs on being the European tech hub, and it seems to be a story that gains ground. How much more exciting is it now compared to a few years back?
Well, absolutely. I think, 5, 10 years ago, there was a tremendous amount of technology innovation going on. But I think literally in the last year or two, we've seen a kind of critical mass, more venture capital firms moving in, a tremendous number of entrepreneurs. I think London is universally now the European hotbed. And I think this week is an exciting milestone in seeing that growth.
I mean, in particular, it seems to have been fintech, financial services technology, that have really powered through some of these 8 new, known as unicorns, billion-dollar companies, the likes of TransferWise, the likes of Funding Circle. Are there any other sectors that are particularly, perhaps not getting the light shone on them as much as you expected when it comes to London's dominance in tech?
Well, one particular sector I'm particularly interested in at the moment is the kind of maker movement, the kind of Internet of Things. And surprisingly, London has one of the largest, or if not the largest, kind of community of people interested in that area. And I think so in terms of smart homes, in terms of the huge amount of e-commerce spend in the UK, I think we're the highest in the world. This is an area I think that's set for growth.
We've talked about it for a little while, but give us an idea of how small it is now compared to how big it could be, Internet of Things.
Well, I think that there's forecasts of spend something like 1.7 trillion in the next 5, 10 years alone. But today we're barely scratching that surface, you can imagine. We talk a lot about the productivity gap in countries like ours. I think Internet of Things has a huge role to play in solving that.
And why suddenly are we seeing this sort of perfect storm building around London at the moment when it comes to technology? Is it what investors are suddenly getting interested? Who is coming over and wanting to invest? And why do we have such a dominance in, say, the Internet of Things? Is it because you've had the older stalwarts such as Arm Holdings that designs chips that fosters that sort of growth?
Yeah, I think it's almost like a perfect storm of multiple things happening. We've got tremendous talent from all over the world. Within Europe, many amazing people are coming over to study at universities and enjoy the quality of life we have here in London. We've also got capital, which is flooding into technology all over the world, and hence a lot of investors are moving here to London. And yeah, some of these older, let's say older tech industries, if you like, I used to work myself in sort of mobile technology at the beginning of my career, are seeing lots of shifts and lots of changes, which means people are moving across as well.
Very retro. I mean, you mentioned people coming from Europe, people coming from all over the world. So does the tech industry in London have a very definite pro-EU stance? Does the tech industry want the UK to stay part of the European Union?
I think on this issue, like many, for many other people, there's divided opinions. Obviously, we benefit a huge amount from the flow of human capital, but we don't just get that from Europe, we get that from all over the world. And I think that the kind of know-how we need here means that that we have here means that actually London can be a place where you can start global startups in any language because of the diversity we have here.
Talk to us a little bit about your particular expertise in China as well. Of course, you've been helping formulate, well, Manchester's connection with China, but also UK in general, trade relationships. Are we starting to see money coming into the tech sector from that area rather than just Silicon Valley investors, for example? Yeah,
absolutely. I think that's one of the strengths of our market here now. We have investors from all over the world, not just China, Middle East, other parts of the world, who are setting up shop and looking for interesting new technologies that they can bring back. And I think that's a great development because Britain's strength is always to be a place where you can launch into the rest of the world. And we're seeing that in tech as well.
And now you're in the House of Lords, Lord Way. You can't just extol the virtues of London, can you? You have to talk about the rest of the country. So where else excites you when you look at tech hubs around the UK? Is it Manchester? Is it other places?
Yeah, obviously, we're going through a huge period of devolution and cities getting more power and more responsibility over their budgets, their infrastructure. So that's going to create an amazing climate. Obviously, Manchester has been one of the forerunners, but we've also seen the kind of Cambridge region coming up, and Bristol is obviously very hot for tech right now. So I think the future's bright for the regions as well as London.